top stories in 60 seconds.
We're talking about that light of the end of the tunnel for so long. For those of us who are vaccinated, that light has arrived.
There were times where it seemed like it would never happen.
I think the past year, we've all been sort of conditioned. Walk out of the house, walk in a place, mask up.
Businesses have struggled to stay open.
Really limited our capacity for the last year, so even the thought of us being able to open up back to 100% is fantastic.
But now, mask wearing is only a recommendation. Social distancing is not required, and businesses can start to operate without restrictions this weekend.
They're all booking up right now. We're very, very busy. People are more comfortable inside and outside.
For most, it is just the simple things that will make all the difference moving forward.
It's nice to see smiles again.
Good Friday evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. We are on a quick timeline to returning to life as we once knew it. Today, Governor Polis announced Colorado's mask mandate is lifted, and our state is following CDC guidelines. That means vaccinated people no longer need masks in most settings. Unvaccinated people are advised to wear masks in larger settings, but it is not required. This Sunday, most counties in the metro moved to level clear, including Denver, Jefferson, Adams, Arapahoe, Boulder, and Broomfield counties. And that means businesses can operate at 100% with no other requirements. Then on June 1st, the state will lift restrictions on events attracting more than 500 people. Coors Field already announced capacity will rise to 70% or 35,000 fans.
I want people who are unvaccinated who are watching this, again, just to recognize that a lot of these public health protections that were designed to protect you, like others wearing masks, like limitations on gathering, are going away today or June 1st, very shortly. And that should be another reason to get vaccinated.
Already tonight, we have seen people out enjoying the warm weather and taking advantage of life under these lessened restrictions. Denver 7 Sloan Dickey joins us from Denver's Larimer Square. Sloan, you spoke to several business owners happy to welcome in the crowds.
Yeah, we're here across the street from several bars, and we've seen a lot of people out this evening. One thing we're starting to see less of is masks on people's faces. And as you mentioned, that is now legal if you're inside. Some businesses might allow you to not wear a mask if you're indoors. That announcement today came as quite a shock to some business owners, and now they're trying to figure out what their next steps are. These are images from 2021. In fact, these are images from today, Friday, May 14th. And one thing is very different from the day before.
It's nice to see smiles again.
Naked smiles are now allowed as masks are no longer required at Blake Street Tavern. Just moments after Governor Polis said this.
Today we are not celebrating the end of the pandemic, but we're celebrating an important milestone. A milestone that really turns over that individual responsibility of mask wearing to the people of Colorado.
The Blake Street Tavern tweeted this, saying they're no longer requiring visitors to wear masks, and they'll use the honor system to enforce who is vaccinated and who is not.
It's only been a few hours and people are giddy. They're just giddy.
The CDC announced on Thursday that fully vaccinated people can ditch their masks in most settings. On Friday, the state of Colorado followed suit, lifting the statewide mask mandate and advising but not requiring unvaccinated people to wear a mask. Health officials say that nearly 40% of the state is fully vaccinated, and they estimate as many as 80% of the state intends to get one.
Even the thought of us being able to open up back to 100% is fantastic.
Denver is also headed for an end to social distancing this weekend, entering level clear. The distinction will allow smaller restaurants and bars like the First Draft Brewery to fill their spaces to 100% capacity once again.
My staff's all looking forward to it. We're really hyped down here and really excited to get rolling again.
For most of us used to masks for more than a year,
I don't necessarily think the world is ready to be mask-free.
it's a strange new world.
I feel a bit uncomfortable. I mean, I think the past year, we've all been sort of conditioned. Walk out of the house, walk in a place, mask up.
Restaurant managers say they're prepared for all different kinds of expectations when it comes to safety and social distancing.
We are always still sanitizing all of our high-touch areas. I think the QR codes are here to stay. The contactless paying is awesome.
But for many, this weekend is the moment they've been waiting for since the pandemic reached Colorado more than a year ago.
I think people are ready to party.
And as those several other counties move into that level clear, this is a major move this weekend. Governor Polis said that if you are vaccinated, this pandemic is largely over. So great news to hear. Jessica?
That is fantastic news to hear. Thank you, Sloan. Epidemiologists and other experts were by and large surprised by the CDC's recommendation on masks. Some are fine with it. Others are worried it's too early and that unvaccinated people will feel even less urgency to get a vaccine now. Denver7 anchor Shannon Ogden talked with Beth Carlton with the Colorado School of Public Health today, and she shares that concern.
Colorado is number one for most per capita cases. We have 24 per 100,000 cases, tied with Michigan. And after that, there's not even really a close second. So why doesn't anybody care about this anymore? We had 1,800 new cases.
Yeah, Colorado has, in general, done a fantastic job, or has had pretty low numbers across the pandemic until now. And we're in a pretty tricky spot. I'm worried about the people who are not vaccinated, or the people who, like me, have been vaccinated but still aren't 2 weeks out from their shot, right? And I think what my fear about this guidance is that those who are not fully vaccinated will think that the show is over too, that the pandemic is over. And for all of us who are not in the fully vaccinated category, this pandemic is very real. And if you're in Colorado, it's really risky.
More than 1,500 cases of the virus and 6 deaths were confirmed in Colorado today. 630 people are in the hospital. While high, that is our lowest patient count since April 23rd. Remember, it is still up to businesses to decide how they want to move forward with mask guidance. King Soopers will still require masks, while Trader Joe's and Walmart will not. Several small businesses we spoke with say it may be easier to just leave the requirement in place. There are also new recommendations for schools. While districts continue to make their own rules, the state laid out some clear guidance today. Teachers and students who are unvaccinated should continue to wear a mask. Vaccinated teachers and older students will be able to remove their masks at the district's discretion. The Denver7 digital team has done some in-depth research on vaccines and your kids. Digital producer Oscar Contreras spoke with school administrators, parents, and health professionals to see what vaccines for kids means for the future of our classrooms. You can read Oscar's full story on thedenverchannel.com. And we also have a talkback on Denver7 Plus. It's free for you. Just search Denver7 on your streaming device and install Denver7 Plus. A former staffer claims Congressman Doug Lamborn did not require his staff to wear a mask last year and cared little about social distancing. That's only the tip of the iceberg. Here with what else employees have to say about Lamborn is Denver7's Russell Haythorne.
Republican Congressman Doug Lamborn under fire for, among other allegations in a new lawsuit, forcing staff members to buy his family Christmas gifts and forcing staff to run errands for his family.
Not only does it look bad, it's a violation of the congressional ethics rules.
In one email obtained by Denver7, a staff member writes, "Team, I'm leaving now to run errands for Mrs. Lamborn. Then I'll take my lunch hour." Another email says, "We were able to get gift certificates for the Kennedy Center. $10 from each of us will give the Lamborns flexibility deciding what they want to attend."
There's no question that the use of staff for personal gain is forbidden and smacks of corruption.
Longtime Republican consultant Steve Durham says this could spell trouble for the 8-term congressman.
And that could make him very vulnerable to a primary.
The lawsuit also alleges Lamborn allowed his son to sleep in a storage space in the basement of the U.S. Capitol for weeks and claims Lamborn exposed his staff to the coronavirus by ignoring and recklessly handling COVID protocols in the U.S. House. And many on his staff did contract the virus.
Significant, but it doesn't smack of corruption like the use of staff for personal gain.
Durham says this could lead to a censure of the congressman or other consequences, which could possibly put him in a tough primary battle if another Republican were to step up.
Frankly, I think it would be bad for the party to re-elect a member, someone to Congress who has demonstrated a complete disregard of the ethics rules.
Russell Haythorne, Denver7.
A spokesperson for Congressman Lamborn called the allegations unsubstantiated and said Lamborn looks forward to full vindication as all facts come to light.
These are people's lives and people's families on the line. So That's a good I see in becoming a prosecuting lawyer is you're bringing justice to the families.
Young people with sights on a career in law enforcement are already having the tough conversations.
We definitely have debates about that, and the system is very unfair at some times.
We look at how local schools are training for the future.
Still some storms on the radar. It's going to be a busy weekend of thunderstorms.
And coming up later, a rare form of therapy is helping people struggling through the pandemic.
People come and they are at the end of their rope. They're sad.
Can't function. There's no motivation. There's no drive.